Hi, Reverend Paula Zabkar here from Spiritual Soul Center with a little bit of soul session. It's important that you show up for life. That may sound like an obvious statement, but what I'm talking about is showing up to your life and to what matters in your life, to the things that matter, to not wait for the perfect time or the perfect situation or until all the stars are aligned, but to show up, to not wait for the perfection. And what showing up means is to be consciously and purposefully present, to be aware, Because sometimes we get stuck in our routines and we get stuck in our ruts and we get stuck in mindless motion. And what I'm talking about is how important it is to show up for life with consciousness. I think that's one of the things that in this pandemic has done for me is to disrupt the routines. If you think back, it's been months now, but it's really disrupted your routine, and maybe at one time and maybe still you're feeling like, oh, maybe you're more mindful. I know I am. I'm more mindful and more present and more aware. I mean, not all the time, for crying out loud. That doesn't happen to me because I'm not perfect. But there are moments and there are glimmers of remembering to show up with awareness and purposefulness and presence. I'm learning to do that. And that's what I'm encouraging you to consider too, is to learn to clear your intention, to have the clear intention, and to show up with an open mind and a softened heart, and for what might be possible in the moment, to have that settled nature in showing up, rather than just to show up, to consider being present without an agenda, or without it having to be my way and having to have an outcome that's what I have just decided it is in the story in my mind. To show up and to stand up, to trust that moment, and to do it as often as we can. To know it's like no other moment, that it's specific to that time, to our time, to this time and this place. And that's how we can get the most out of life, I think, by showing up in that way. I hope that's what you consider as you move through, and instead of mindless attention, to have purposeful attention into whatever the moment is at the moment. Amen.